Hi, I'm Jocelyn. Thanks for hanging out with me today as we explore the piano. Knowing scales is essential to playing. Memorizing the sharps and flats in any given key is the foundation for being able to play everything in music. Today, we'll go over 5 of those scales and how to play them. A scale is a series of 7 consecutive notes, starting and ending on the same note, using the sharps or flats needed. This is important because it will dictate which series of notes or chords to play in a song. A key signature tells us which notes in the scale will be flat, sharp, or natural. The name of the key signature is the first note of the scale, also known as the root. Since there are 7 notes in the scale, there can be up to 7 sharps or 7 flats in any given scale. Scales will have either sharps or flats, but not both. Let's use a chart called the Circle of Fifths to help us learn the scales and the key signatures for each. This chart shows us every possible scale. There are 7 sharp scales, 7 flat scales, plus 1 scale with no sharps or flats, giving us a total of 15. We're going to discuss 5 of them in this lesson. Let's play 5 of these scales with the right hand for 1 octave going up and down. We will begin with the first scale at the top of the circle, the C scale. In my opinion, the C scale is the easiest scale to learn because it has no sharps or flats to remember, and it is played using only the white keys. The name of the scale is taken from the first note of the scale. So of course, the C scale must start on the note C. Each consecutive note is played until you reach the next C. Now there is a standard fingering that we will use to play it. Remember the finger numbers from our last lesson? In the last video, we learned a C5 finger scale using fingers 1 through 5. However, in this video, we will add the final 3 notes of the scale. In order to play them, we will have to cross our thumb under our 3rd finger and reset the other fingers to play up to the next C. Watch. Fingers 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to cross. I'm kind of doing this little motion here. 1, 2, 3. I'm crossing my thumb under, and then I'm resetting. 1, 2, 3. Reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And coming down, we're going to play 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to cross, kind of swivel finger 3 over 1. 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Great. Pause the video. It's your turn now. Play the C scale 5 times going forward and 5 times coming back down. See you in a few. Got the hang of it now? If so, great. You're developing the muscle memory to play more scales. If you don't quite have it yet, that's okay. Keep trying every day until it becomes easy. Now let's begin playing the first scale with sharps. So we're going to start playing the black keys now. We're learning about a chart called the Circle of Fifths. Starting with the note C, we're going to count up 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I landed on G. So G is going to be our next scale in the Circle of Fifths and our first scale with a sharp. Now, how do we know which one of those notes is going to be sharp or the black key? It's going to be the 7th note of the scale. I'm still playing a G scale, just going down an octave lower. So G, and we want to go to the 7th note. The 7th note here is F sharp. Now, if you're a singer and you know the solfege syllables, you can sing, and T is going to be the sharp. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. There's our F sharp, our black key. Do. All right, so using that same fingering, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Your turn. It's time to stop the video, practice playing the G scale, going forward and backwards 5 times, and then come back. All right, you're becoming a pro at this. So let's go on to another key. Our next scale on the circle of fifths has 2 sharp notes. Starting with the note G, we're going to count up 5 notes. And when I do that, I land on D. On our circle of fifths chart, it is the 2nd scale to the right of the C major. Now, our first sharp was an F sharp. We're going to keep that F sharp as we play the D scale, but we're going to add a 2nd sharp to it. And how do we know which sharp to add? You would count up 7 notes. C sharp is our 7th note. Or you could just think of the root note, which is the name of the scale, and go down a half step. Again, for those singers. So T is going to be your 7th note, or sharp, which is C sharp. All right, so you know what I'm going to ask you to do next. It's time for you to pause the video, practice playing a D major scale going forward and backwards 5 times, and then join me again. Okay, you're an expert now, so it's time for us to go on to a new scale. Moving on to the next scale on the circle of fifths, we come to a scale with how many sharps? Right, 3 sharps. So starting with the note D, how many, I'm going to pick this D right here. How many notes do you think we're going to go up? Right, 5, because it's called the circle of fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I land on an A. And we're going to keep those first 2 sharps that we already had, which was an F sharp and a C sharp. And we're going to add a 3rd sharp to it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so G sharp is our new sharp in this scale. And I want you to practice playing it 5 times in a row. I'll see you back in a little bit. Moving on to the next scale from the circle of fifths, we come to a scale with 4 sharps. Now, we're starting on A. We are going to go up 5 notes. That brings us to E. Let's talk about our key signature, or which notes are going to be sharp. Think of building blocks. Those first sharps that we've been talking about, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, those are blocks. And when you're adding a new block, you're not going to take a block from the bottom of your building that you're building. You're going to keep it there and keep adding. So we're going to keep those same sharps, and we're going to add a new one. Which sharp do you think we're going to add now? If you said D sharp, you are correct. So we have 4 sharps E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Now I want you to try playing that yourself. Okay, so pause, take a few moments, and try playing the E major scale 5 times going forward and 5 times going backwards. Welcome back. We've just learned 5 scales from the circle of fifths. If you keep going in the same manner, you can figure out the notes of the next 3 scales, B major, F sharp major, and C sharp major. Although F sharp and C sharp major do have a slightly different fingering than the others. You can also refer back to the circle of fifths chart in the future in order to know which sharps you're going to play in any given scale. Learn the order of sharps by memorizing this acrostic. Fat cats get drowsy after eating bugs. After watching this video, you should be able to play 5 scales using the correct key signature. Remember, scales are the building blocks for every song that you will play or write. Keep practicing them until they become second nature. In the following series of videos, we will go over how to play these same scales in the left hand, and we will learn the order of flats for the major scales. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and ask any questions, and I will get back to you. Have fun practicing.